All my fellas. 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 Let's go. Let's go. All my fellas. 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 Let's go. Pose the camera. All my fellas. All my fellas. All my fellas. Pose the camera. All my fellas. All my fellas.
Howdy ho. Ugh. I'm playing Magic. I'm playing Magic the Gathering. What the? I decided I want to play Magic today. And, yeah, I think that's pretty much all to it. I'm going to be playing Brawl, which is like the arena equivalent of. Oh, it's all good. Yeah, what's up? I'm playing Brawl, which is like the arena equivalent of like Commander. So yeah, I'm also gonna build a deck specifically for this stream. So let's, I guess, get started. I believe I put the commander I wanted to play in the title, or in the thumbnail, I would mean. Let us go Brawl. Muldrotha. Yep. Alrighty, let's start looking through cards. I like Aether Spellbomb. Let me turn on the music, it's quite loud. There we go. I'll turn it up for y'all. What else should we add? I'd like cards that like self-mill, ideally, but it doesn't feel great to put mana towards milling when I need to be ramping, since Muldrotha is a high cost commander. That's 6 mana. Thought Monitor is interesting. I'm gonna just throw it in here just for the time being. I think Thought Monitor is a good card. Anything I would surveil would also be interesting. I just want cards in the graveyard. Shame there's no dredge. But we can't have everything, can we? Conniving is Interesting. I don't know how good that realistically is, though, because our cards are probably going to have to be very tuned. Let's just look at stuff that mentions the graveyard. No, it's just showing me cards that... Okay. Gruda's a good card. No, not a companion, though. Lucky the Groot actually popped up. I forgot how Magic actually does their thing. I guess let's look at rares. Let's get our mana base set up first, actually. Artifacts. We could use battles as well as we need instants and sorceries. So let's actually look at everything but creatures for the time being. So we're just gonna keep scrolling. Ready? Search Engine's interesting, but it doesn't really synergize. It doesn't have any positive synergy towards the strategy other than being an artifact as well as a creature. And then let's just at least look at Muldrotha. Muldrotha is a 6-cost 6/6 elemental avatar, although we're not really going to be taking any use of those attributes of it in this deck. But it says during each of the turns, our turns, we can play a land and cast permanent spells of each type from our graveyard. We can only do one of each type, for instance of Muldrotha being on the field. So if we like remove it and bring it back, I believe we are able to recast them if I'm not wrong. But it does mean cards with multiple types, you can consider them either or the type. So if it's like an artifact creature, we can either use our artifact cast for it or a creature cast for it. So we can have enchantments that bring back creatures, since those are permanents, like from the graveyard, to consider itself as like a creature cast, but for an enchantment instead. So it allows us to get multiple instances of the same effect going on, so we get more consistency going on in the graveyard to repeat effects or to get beneficial creatures on board repeatedly. So in order to do that, I need to get as many cards as possible in the graveyard, or powerful permanents like Imprison in the Moon is a good removal card. I will be playing that. Which is, since it's a permanent, since it's an enchantment, even if they remove it from the field, we are able to just recast it again from our graveyard with Muldrotha. Rhystic Study is always a good card. And it's a permanent, so even if we mill it, we have access to it. This is interesting. I actually like that card. I like copy effects because typically in Brawl people are playing. I have no idea what any of that means. Okay, so essentially, let's deduce this into Yu-Gi-Oh speak. This is a graveyard-centric deck where I want to be basically putting generic stuff into the graveyard to combo with each other. Consider it kind of like along the lines of like Dragon Link, or if you want to go a little bit slower, since this is a slower format, consider it like Teledad, like or Edison graveyard related decks. So I want to juggle resources in and out of the graveyard, utilizing Muldrotha's ability for me to play the cards from my graveyard as if they were in my hand. It also allows me to always get land drops. So ideally, I want to be both during my turns in the early game, getting more mana so I can cast Muldrotha earlier on, as well as milling cards to the graveyard so I can access them later on once I get Muldrotha on the field. And then I also want powerful cards that like mill cards and, you know, do other beneficial effects. Like this card allows me to enter as a copy of any other card on the battlefield, but Disturb means while it's in the graveyard, I can cast it as an enchantment, and at the beginning of the upkeep, I get a token of a creature that's attached to. So basically, this will have a beneficial effect if I mill it, and even if I mill it, I can choose to cast it as the enchantment or choose to cast it as the creature because of Muldrotha. So this is like a copy card, and this can copy my creatures too, so I can get multiple copies of something else. Sorry if that was a little bit long. I just think that's one of the main reasons why I like Muldrotha so much is because it allows you to do so many different things with it and allows you to have such a large quantity of cards you have access to if the situation is going according to plan. Of course, since it is a very expensive commander, being 6 mana, it means we are most likely going to have to be on the defensive most of the time. But the Muldrotha's game isn't necessarily winning immediately. It is the long, grindy game because we will always have access to every card that we have played, pretty much. Since even if our opponent destroys them, they're going to our graveyard where then we can recast them with Muldrotha. If we are playing non-permanents, meaning cards that will, if we play, will stick on the battlefield until something destroys them or they leave the battlefield by some mean. Since those are the only things Muldrotha can put into play, our non-permanents, being instants and sorceries, either need to get us more lands and stuff, be very powerful removal, or just do something so broken or milling a lot of cards where we think the trade-off is worth it. Or there are some that have graveyard effects that are also good. But we do want to kind of stick away from the more expensive cards unless they're incredibly powerful permanents that we are able to do. Alrund's Epiphany is a very good card. However, I'm gonna opt not to play it. This is like a second turn spell. So it's like Yugioh sense. It's kind of like the Arcana Force the World, where you get a second turn right afterwards. So this just allows you to straight up do it for the cost. Treasure Cruise is interesting. It allows me to lower its cost by 1 for exiling cards from my graveyard, but that's our like hand pretty much. And drawing 3 cards, I don't think is that good, especially when our graveyard is our hand. Because we also want to be including cards in our graveyard that'll have like beneficial effects on their own, even without Muldrotha on field, because we can't guarantee Muldrotha is always going to stick on board. Oh, how about this? Let's get our mill cards out of the way. This is going to mention all cards that mill. Cemetery Tampering is good. Basically saying at the beginning of my upkeep, I get a mill 3 cards, and then if I have a certain amount of cards in graveyard, I get a card for free. Which is good, because I want to be having cards in graveyard anyway. Sigil of Murkhol is interesting. It's a mill 1 every turn on my combat step, and so it means it can do it immediately if I play it in main 1. However, it's only 1 mill, but it can put counters on cards and give it Death Touch. So I'm going to include it just for the time being, in case I find something, in case I don't find something better. Breach the Multiverse is very powerful. It's like a win the game card, pretty much. Both players mill 10, and then I get to put a creature or planeswalker from their graveyard and my graveyard into play. And then they're Phyrexians. So not only is it milling us 10, we are getting a choice of the 2 best cards in our graveyards. Like, so I get 2 free, like, good things. And I'm already planning on having good things you can bring back from the graveyard anyway. Crawling Infestation is also good. Beginning of upkeep mill 2, and whenever more and more creatures put in from anywhere during our turn, we get a 1/1 green insect. So we get a token every turn pretty much. And we get the mill card. So this one's also very good. Seed of Hope is interesting. It's like mill 2, and then we get to add a thing that would be milled, and then we gain some life. However, it's only the stuff we milled and not in our graveyard in general. Like, Grapple with the Past is just in general, but it's only creatures and lands, so... Maybe. Vorinclex is very good. Invasion Amonkhet, very good. Each player mills 3, and I get a thing that can copy something, so it's like a mill card combined with a mimic. Vorinclex's Ramp, as well as it can transform into an enchantment that mills me 10 cards. Wand of Vertebrae, very good. It's a 1-cost artifact that mills me a card immediately and mills me a card every turn. And it's 1 cost, and that's the reason I think it's very good. Mesmeric Orb is very interesting. It is a good card, but it's also a very dangerous card since we're already planning on milling a fuck ton. And it's not like we're planning on milling ourselves out. We're just trying to mill to get like a lot of beneficial cards in rotation. But Mesmeric Orb forces both players to mill uncontrollably, pretty much, or rather, mill scale to the stuff they have on board. So this one's a pretty dangerous one to play around with. Orthnak is also good. This is a card that like either lets us draw a card, or well, rather scry and get a targeted draw, and our opponent gets the choice either to give us the targeted draw or we mill cards and they could take damage. And then if they choose for us to mill, which they're probably going to do in early turns. That's just beneficial for us, and then later in the game we get targeted draws. I guess we can include everything now that mills. Ooh. Emery is definitely going to be in here. Emery on ETB mills 4 and then lowers its own cost based off of the amount of artifacts we have, and we're planning on playing artifacts for ramp and just general good stuff. And this also lets us cast an artifact from our graveyard in turn, in addition to Muldrotha's cast, so good card. And we can also like sacrifice it or like choose it as like a chump blocker or destroy it or whatever, and just recast it to get the mill effect additional times. Since it's pretty much always going to be 1 mana, since we're going to have artifacts on board, ideally. Jace Perfected Mind also allows us to mill a fuck ton of cards, so that's also good. Stitcher Supplier, same thing. On ETB and die, it mills 3 cards, so great stuff there. Mire Triton is good because it gains us life and mills 2, plus it's a 2/1 Death Toucher. Compared to Deathcat Marionette, which just mills us 2 cards but doesn't give us the life, that's why we're choosing this over it. Also has a little bit more power, but not really too relevant. Butler is also good, mill 3 on ETB, and if it dies, we can return a card. So it allows us to get a targeted card back, which is nice. Certain Conrad the Grim is a win condition. It allows us to mill cards, and whenever a card leaves our basically our deck, they take damage, and also includes rather if a card goes to our graveyard or our opponent's graveyard, our opponent will take 1 damage for each card that did so. And if we're planning on milling, this turns all of our mill cards to every card mill burns your opponent, which is really good. So this is a very good win condition, especially for not planning on paying that mana cost. Circle of the Land Druid's good because it can potentially ramp. I'm gonna opt out of Death Bonnet Sprout. Actually, I'll play Death Bonnet Sprout. It's a good early gameplay. Urborg Lurgoyf is good. And we're definitely going to be cutting down on these cards too. World Shaper's crazy if we can manage to sack it. Ren and Realm Breaker's alright. I'm probably going to cut it though. Ashiok, the Dream Renderer, is very powerful. Old Rudstein, very strong. Nah. Skull Prophet's good. It's a mana dork that can also mill cards in later game in situations rather where we wanted to. Zadusi is good. Tyvar might make the final cut. Altar of Dementia I didn't include, but I meant to when I initially went through artifacts. I think that's all the mill we really would want. Those are all the best mill cards. Now, let's look at our colorless artifacts. Mox Amber, definitely. I guess Agatha's Soul Cauldron's interesting, but I don't think it's going to make the cut since it's not really too synergistic. Arcane Singed, definitely. Mind Stone for sure. I'm honestly considering Golden Egg because it's the thing that sacks itself and can get us a draw every turn, plus it can gain us life. I'm gonna put it in here just for the time being since I did put Emery. Same with Ornithopter of Paradise. That's just a mana dork that's an artifact as well. Sleeper Dart's also interesting and its stun capabilities. Swiftfoot Boots I really want to include because I can protect Muldrotha with it. Chromatic Lantern will be included for the time being. The One Ring, of course. I like Portal to Phyrexia a lot. Emrakul is also incredibly strong in this deck. Command Tower, of course, auto-include. This only adds a forest, so I'm thinking of including that one. Evolving Wilds, of course. Escape Tunnel, of course. Fabled Passage, of course. Plaza of Heroes. Nixos, I don't think, is going to have a place in this deck. And now I'm just picking lands that will probably make our colors like nicer, as well as another good thing with Muldrotha is we have these lands that will sacrifice to add another land from deck to field. Except they enter tapped for the most part, unless I'm including cards like Fabled Passage, which will untap it. If we have Muldrotha, that land that we crack to play doesn't count as our land drop for turn if we had this like previously on field. So since this goes to our graveyard, every single turn we get to play a Fabled Passage until we have no more lands in our deck. So we basically get to fetch our lands from our deck untapped until we have no more to fetch. So it just is really good with Muldrotha because we always get a guaranteed land drop from deck, and then after we get all those, we can start playing the ones from graveyard. And then we do also have these other ones that are very similar, although they will always enter tapped unless we have some other effect on field. But this will also gain us 1 life and happen immediately on it entering the battlefield. This is a Swamper Forest, so I will include that one. Terramorphic Expanse is just Evolving Wilds. This is very powerful, so I'm going to include that. This is like Evolving Wilds for forests specifically, but it's very cheap. Let's look at all of our lands now. Soaring City is very powerful. Boseiju is very strong as well. I like Darkslick Shores. I think that's a good one. A Surveil Land, strong. It's also a forest. Deathglade Cap. Blooming Marsh. Llanowar Waste. Bark Channel Pathway. Breeding Pool. Dreamroot Cascade. Underground Mortuary. It's Triumph, of course. Coast. Surveil Land. Already have a Command Tower. Forest or Island. Island Swamp. Island Swamp. Okay, I think our land situation's pretty cool now. Yeah, I think we're fine with lands. We can probably cut a swamp, and we can probably cut escape tunnel. Now let's look at our 1-drops for green. Haywire Might strong. What is going on, Ron? We'll put a halfling in there, of course. Elvish Mystic for ramp. Kami of Bamboo Groves is very strong and repeatable. Actually, we could take Elvish Mystic out. It's not that synergistic. Pretty sure we can find other ramp. I like Tamio's safekeeping, but I'm going to include Heroic Intervention instead. Canker Bloom. Ooh. Oh, I like Cryptolithrite. We're making some tokens, so if we can make our creature tokens dorks, that'll be very strong. It's also a permanent, so we can play it from our graveyard, which I like. Heroic Intervention. Carroted, is that worth it? Probably not. I don't think that's worth it. Lotus Cobra, though. Lotus Cobra is probably worth it. Right now we're just looking at all my green cards. Our 3 cost. Do I have Eternal Warden? Cultivate. Entish Restoration. Is this mill? Mill 3, return a land from graveyard to hand. It's 3 mana though. I can't do that one. Harrow. Oh, I like Gwenna. But no. Reclamation Sage is good removal. Scute Swarm, yeah, we're always going to be getting land drops. Scute Swarm is very good, and that's the case. Spring Bloom Druid, it's a good ramp. Oh, I like Wayward Swordtooth. I feel like I have a better one. That's 2 green. I don't want to play that. Did I just scroll past it earlier? So yeah, Rares of Mythics. Do you know much about Chimera, the archetype, the Yu-Gi-Oh archetype? I know basically what their cards do and what it's kind of capable of. However, I've never played it myself. I've only played either against it or I've seen it being played. If that answers your question, hopefully. Ramunap Excavator is also strong. I wouldn't be including that, yeah. Can't always guarantee our Muldroth is on field, so we need cards that'll do stuff otherwise. I like Defense of the Heart a lot. I think Defense of the Heart's a very powerful card. I also like Gore Claw too. This lowers the cost of our commander. Same with Nylea. Virtuous Strength is strong. I like Craterhoof. I really like Craterhoof. Great Henge. Last March. Shmeagle is going to be very powerful. Squirming Emergence is quite strong. Belladros. Now here you get into the good cards, the multicolored stuff. I like Simone and Dina. I think they're very good cards. Now let's look at just our black cards, since that was all our green cards. Bloodghast, very strong. Rona, strong. Those like looting like effects are very important for us. Victimize, very strong. Trading a card on field for 2 in the grave. I like Invasion of Innistrad. Battles are nice as an additional permanent that we can get from Graveyard. Shieldred, strong for a way to regain life. I wanna... What's the name of the card? No, Living Death isn't in here? Okay. Okay. And then blue cards. What shiny blue cards can we play? I like Sludge Monster. I like Gingitaxias too. Toxrill, yeah. Oh yeah, let's look at the multicolored cards too. Yeah, let's not forget about these. Wait, do I not have a Vohar? Oh, that's not yeah, that's a rare. So we'll also have to go back through these for rares. Ugh. So many cards. not rare, uncommon, and commons. I'm trying to figure out what to do with my branded Chimera deck list. I haven't. I've seen a lot of cool stuff with Chimera. I think, unfortunately, though, like with branded Chimera, both of the archetypes are trying to do kind of like something that's kind of stun related. Like Chimera, I believe has that the Fiend Barrier statue, the dark one that you can lock some people under, as well as the gimmick puppet thing is still completely alive with branded. The branded fusion hit doesn't really mean too much. It kind of means that you have to play like Spriggan's kit and stuff like that just to find it more consistently. And you probably have to like shell out the money for what is it, Thrust. But I think branded Chimera is still kind of like at the same point it was before. You just kind of have to play like Spriggan's kit, or just try and like be more consistently accessing branded fusion. But I'm pretty sure there's definitely like some top or something with branded Chimera, I would imagine. Because that seems like a very competent deck. It seems like one of those decks that would have a top. Or at least had some sort of performance, you know what I mean? So here we're looking for, Vohar, Vidalian Desecrator. Ring Sight's very tempting. I'm afraid I don't know if that's quite that good though. This is a graveyard thing, right? Graveyard, the better finality counter only puts 8 or more opponents in graveyard only as a sorcery. Yeah, that doesn't really do too much. Or branded opening, summon a Luber and get branded fusion, have an extra body now that I think about it. Yeah, branded opening was always like another way for you to get a Luber. It was better for you not to use it because you could get the Quem that way, so you could dump something that you'd really like. However, grabbing a Luber is still completely viable and is just a way to get branded fusion while sending a card in hand to graveyard for effect, which is always good. Root Coil Reaper is a good mana dork for us. Vat of Rebirth is strong. Blood Artist is a win condition. Golem Patient Plotter is very powerful. I like Zulaport, but we already have Blood Artist, and we're pretty tight on cards. We're already at 118 out of 100, so we need to be doing a lot of cuts. But I want to go through all my options first before I make cuts. Assemble a Team is a good card. Urg's one of Turg is also quite strong. But that's only if I have enough ramp, and it's pretty specific in the colors for its casting cost, so I think I'm going to go without it for this deck. Back for more funny. It's too expensive to do anything with it, though. And finally, let's look at green cards. Since Brain Chimera doesn't play Quem, you don't gotta worry about that. Oh, it doesn't play Quem? Oh, alright. Well, then, yeah. I mean, the best card would be a Luber. I mean, I guess in some cases, I don't know how large the Despia engine would be. But in some theoretical situations, if you are playing Dramaturge is also quite a good card. And having it fetchable off of branded opening needs somewhat interaction. I mean, I don't know. Maybe someone consider that like interaction. I want treasure ramp. That's what I'm looking for now. I want more ramp. We already have win cons now. We have enough like win cons in the deck. We have enough mill. Tireless Provisioner. Then let's just look at the higher mana ones. Yeah, nothing. I do want. Let's clear our filters real quick. I know a couple cards I want. War and Flex. Voice of Hunger. And I think now we should be, yeah, our curve's looking alright. We probably want to cut some stuff around the 3s. I think our lands are fine too, so what to cut. I think we can probably cut Nylea, Invasion of Innistrad, Plantier of Orthnak, Chromatic Lantern, Simone and Dina. I don't think we have enough sack out cards. The Despia Engine's 3 opening, 1 Aluber, since you want to normal summon Aluber. That's interesting. I'd say I was running a similar sort of package in branded Predaplant a while ago, and I found out that sometimes it's fine to normal Luber, but if you open branded opening plus a Luber, it turns branded opening like completely dead, or rather, it's now just a discard target for the Lubellion you're gonna make. And in decks where you want to be sending cards to the graveyard to be used as fusion material, sometimes it is better to be discarding those cards out of your hand than like dead branded openings, and you'd rather just go to the graveyard since you're activating it. So I find that running 2 Aluber is typically at least a little bit better for me, and I do also like running 1 Tragedy as an additional dark target just in case, and I can also send it to the graveyard with the Lubellion in like a corner situation. But I also do like the Despias a little bit more since I like the ability to fetch like a branded in red off of Albion. And I end up increasing the engine more and more until it's like a 5 to 6 card engine, not counting the openings in the branded fusion where I'm playing like double Aluber, 1 Quertus, not Quertus, Ad Libitum, 1 Tragedy, 1 branded in red, and like that sort of deal. And I'm like, oh, now I need to include, it's for the Guardian Chimera play, of course, or I can use the used Mirror Jade with a branded in red, with Tragedy in graveyard, and add a lib in hand, banish them all, make it Guardian Chimera, draw 2, pop a card, Chimera, and then add an Eluber from deck to hand, and then special summon the Mirror Jade back from Banish and banish another. Oh, you don't got a Tragedy? Oh, Sag. Oh, cutting cards, yes. Reclamation Stage is probably a little excessive, same with that. I like Ristic Study. In Prison, that we do still need some removal. That's probably not great. I still like Golden Eggs and Ornithopter of Paradise. Corridor Monitor is not really too needed. I don't like Death Bonnet Sprout. Hmm. 11 more cards to cut. Tyvar can cut. I like Schmeagol for ramp a lot, but I guess it's a little too specific. We can't really guarantee that's gonna happen. Nine more cards to cut. 9 more cards. I guess Virtue Strength's too, like, you know, we already have that effect in our whole deck. Let's count our lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 34, 35, 38. We're still at 38? Damn, that's a lot of lands. We can cut 2 swamps. Jeez, that's a lot of lands. Okay, 6 more cards to cut. Skull Prophet can get cut. Some of the Tomb can get cut. Circle Land Druid can get cut. The Sigil can get cut. Or the Sigil. I mean, not the Sigil. 2 more cards to cut. I guess we can cut Gyruda because we don't have too many even costs, really. And I guess we can cut Last March. Okay, hold on. We'll draw a fee. Apply styles. Save. Okay, we also have packs to open, so I haven't opened Magic in a while. We have a fuck ton of packs, so let's open these. Gamba, Gamba, Gamba. Will we get Mythic? We get a little raccoon guy. Whenever I expend 4, I may discard my hand and draw 2. 4th total mana to cast spells during a turn. Okay. Interesting. Tree City. Choose a color, add the amount of mana equal to the number of creatures. Oh, my goodness. That's really good. Not in the deck I just made, but that's good in general. That can be in any color deck. That's just another Nixos. That's crazy. Purifying Rotboar. Oh, this is an arena only card. Okay, I don't have to read it then. Oh, Mythic. Oh, Mythic Wild card. Oh. That's nice, actually. I'll take a Mythic Wild card any day. Resourceful collector. Oh, it's another little raccoon guy. That's crazy. Modern Horizons 3. What's in here? Warren Soul Trader. Pay one life, sack a creature. Oh my. That's a pretty decent card, actually. Let's get an aristocrat dex. Mythic. Necro Dominance. Skip your draw step. Pay that minimum life. Draw that many cards. Your maximum hand size is 5. A card or token we put in your graveyard from anywhere exile instead. Interesting. Like Necropotence. Wheel of Potential. Yeah, it's Wheel of Fortune. Insatiable Avarice. Spree. Search library for a card, shuffle it on top, target player draws 3 and loses 3. So it's not a good card, okay. Red or white, blue or black, 25 lands. Let's refresh this one. Kill 25 creatures. Okay. Brawl. Let's pick Muldrothy. Let's game. After an hour of building the deck, finally, we play game. Alright, we're at Rankle deck. I like this hand. Oh, this is a new Rankle. Lifelink and haste as well as we have no creatures. Enters, pay a life. Each player pitches a card, sacks a creature. Whenever a player discards a card, perpetually gains +1/+0. That's kind of scary. Especially given our deck. Jeez. That's nice as a mill card right there in Cemetery Tampering. You want to grab a black and a green one here. Oh, we just grabbed the... Ooh. You can grab the Triome, or you can grab Mortuary. I'll just grab Mortuary. I have a feeling we can grab the Triome later. We don't need that much ramp. But they have a fucking way to rip a card out of our hand. Heist target opponent's library. The fuck? They just take a card out of our library? Look at 3 random non-land cards from your opponent's library. Exile 1 face down. You can cast that card. Okay, they just fucking... We're pitching a card here. Okay, I guess we could pitch our golden egg. Sedusi. Interesting. Swamp Mindstone. If we play a creature, we want to play the Sedusi. Or actually, no. You're gonna have to pitch a card here. I guess we pitch Warclaw here. They deal 3 to me. Stitcher Supplier is interesting. We play Cascade. And now we get to play Shieldred. They have a way to pop our Shieldred and start step. Okay, they're going to take 2. Alright, they have the way to destroy our Shieldred. And we take damage to face. There's the way to protect our Shieldred to turn too late, but that's fine. We go Cemetery Tampering here. Hideaway 5. Best card for us is Arrow. Stitcher Supplier. Shielder is engraved, so we can potentially grab that back to gain life back later. Okay, they're gonna be able to draw a card here. We get to mill 3. We will be doing so. There's our Vorinclex, nice. Here's Fabled Passage. Yeah, we'll be doing that. Go Fabled Passage. Here we probably want another forest. Sedusi. Mill 3, get a Zombo. No swings. Okay, they go draw a card. We lose 3 life unless we sacrifice a non-land permanent. Yeah, we can lose the supplier. We get a zombie. Mill 3 more. Toxrill. We get Harrow now. It's a little unfortunate, but that's fine. We'll sack the Swamp. We get Swamp Island. Draw. Evolving Wild's interesting. I really don't want to play Muldrotha here. I think we have to, though. Muldrotha. Now what can we do? Where is our... Where the heck's our... Fabled Passage? Fabled Passage. I want another Swamp. And one Stitcher Supplier again. Gingitaxius, get a Zombo, pass. Alright, we got a pretty alright board seat. We're still taking damage from this Rankle, but that's fine. Our opponent doesn't have the mana to really do much. Thoughtseize, they see our Heroic Intervention, they're going to make us pitch it. Graveyard Trespasser is very annoying. You're going to pick the most annoying thing out and exile it. They've exiled the Djinn. Okay, that's fine. And they just exiled their whole graveyard. That sucks. That really sucks. Wow. Okay, well, we can still get our way back into it. That wasn't our whole deck that they exiled. Okay. We get another zombie. We mill 3 more. Draw a card for turn. It's a Mox Amber. We get another Stitcher Supplier. That's a very strong card. Can we play that? Oh, we most definitely can. Oh, we're so in it. Auto pay. Get fucked, dork. Yeah, no, I don't even need to attack you, dude. Go ham. I get their Gingitaxius now. I get their Elderfang Disciple. Turgrid? Sure. Here I grab that. Sacrifice online permanent. that's fine. Great Henge, Prison in the Moon, fucking Triome, Invasion of Amonkhet. Ashiok. I get to mill 4, you get to exile your whole graveyard. Canker Bloom. Crawling Infestation. Emery. Alrighty, see what they can do. Sure. How do I just lose? No, maybe not. Conrad, win con. Here we sacrifice this thing. And then we copy this. Oh, do we just win? Ha! Alrighty, they got a swamp now. They're breaching the multiverse. I don't know why they would do this. Oh, we don't have a deck anymore. Oh, do we just lose? That's funny. I didn't think you're actually going to deck out. That's unfortunate. Yes, let's grab that. Is there anything we can do about this? We can go out on our own terms. Let's go out on our own terms. Yeah. Alrighty. So at least we know our deck can mill cards. It definitely can mill cards. Okay. Let's try again. Thinking making Runic Chimera. Runic Chimera seems very interesting. I've been interested in picking up the Runic cards again, but Runic tip is still like $5 a copy, and I'm like, man, that's gonna make it like a $20 full engine investment. That's kind of not the best, but not the worst. This seems like a pretty good hand. I'm gonna play greedy. I don't want to start with the outlook. Oh, this card seems nuts. Yeah, it's just token shit. Okay. Blooming Marsh. Let's draw a card. That's a good draw. Okay, we're gonna have to do this. Swamp Mountain or Forest. Let's get another forest. Let's get our Rona on board now. Swords to Plowsharing it, sure. This card's crazy. Primal Vigor. Oh my god. This is really scary. I got no lands. Maybe I kept a greedy hand. But I had a fucking 3-lander. Yeah. A million tokens. Yeah. This card does everything. It gets you the draws, and it gets you the fucking mana to fucking cast him. Jesus. That's crazy. Yeah, no. We're not winning that game. That deck is way too fast for Wildrotha to beat it. I have most of the cards. I have Hugin, 3 Flashing Fires, 2 Freezing Curses, 1 Destruction, the rest of the Runic Quick Plays, and I'm missing 1 Fountain and 3 Tip. Yeah, the tip being like $5 a copy even after the reprint, I was like, nah, man. I can't be buying those cards. Cause personally, I'm not a fan of Runic. I know I play Magical Musket and they play very similar control styles, but I think Musket is a lot more flavorful and more cool, while I think Runic is, I don't know. I'm not as much of a fan of Runic as I am Musket. Alrighty, found an opponent. Nice, nice. Azusa Lost but Seeking. Okay, monocolor deck. So at least we know what we're like, what we can be expecting. I like this hand. We only have 2 lands, but we do have ramp in 2 different forms. Plus, we have a 1-drop. Although I am going to be playing this tap land as my 1-drop. Yeah, I'm playing this tap land as the 1-drop. They're going to get. Interesting. There's the Azusa. They're holding a Beseiju. Okay. Shipwreck Marsh. Interesting. We go Haywire Might. Spring Bloom. Crack that forest. Get a forest. Get a swamp. So we're still keeping up with them. They're on 5, we're on 5. Oh crap. That's not good. Uh-oh. We need to get this Toxer out ASAP. Get 2 more fucking forests. Jeez. Yeah, we really need this Toxer out. Alright, got Vorinclex, so you get Toxtrol out next turn. Get Breeding Pool, get Triumph. No attacks. Now, if they don't kill us here, we get to clear their board, except for the Azusa. Titan of Industry. Okay, that doesn't. That. Oh, it might. If they pop our Ornithopter, that might fucking fuck us up. But they might pop the Rebirth or hovering it. Okay, they pop the Rebirth. Nice. Galta. That's fine. Not. They're swinging with their Skewed Swarms. I take out 2 Skewed Swarms. I'll take 5. Oh, that's very strong. Pay 2 life. Toxrel. Attack and turn. Kill all their shit. Get a bunch of tokens. Alright, now the tables have been turned. Yeah, 3-tip is mandatory. It's so unfortunate. It is just the best card in the deck. Well, I mean, Fountain Draw 3 is the best interaction in the deck. Nice, nice land. Okay, they're just going to start building up their barons. Interesting. Okay, we block the 6. And we can fully block this Galta too. Yeah, okay. Nice. That was a really scary situation for a second there, but glad they didn't actually have a thing to just straight up kill us right there. Alright, we can get a pack. Let's gamble. Let's gamble some more. Oh, that's not a pack. That's not the store. Let's gamble. Let's get a Blue Burrow pack. We got another Mythic Wild card. Fabled Passage. Another Fabled Passage. Let's go. That's going to be good fight. It's also in Standard now. Okay. Neat. I don't know if I'm going to play Standard, but that's an option given to me. I'll play one more game, and then I'm probably going to hop off. And also, for those of y'all who are still here, yeah, for those of y'all who are still here, I'm going to be, after this stream, I'm going to see about transferring over my streaming, at least, to Twitch. So, I'm going to see about that, and I will update y'all on the Discord. Croxus and Kunaros. Okay. I'm rocking with it, I'm rocking with it. Sussy hand. I'm surprised we kept Ren and Realmbreaker. That probably was a better cut than some other things. This is a better hand, yeah. Yeah, this is a much better hand. Here I want to get a swamp. Does this get a swamp? This does get a swamp. Okay, now we can go... Evolving Wilds, Crack, Forest, Vada Rebirth. And then next turn, they get a Fable the Mirror Breaker. That's not great. That's fine though, because we can go Island, drop Spell Bomb, play Emery. Those are some pretty alright ones. Yeah, they could pitch some. I'm gonna abandon YouTube. YouTube, yeah. Like, I like streaming on YouTube, but from what the information that I've been gathering, Twitch is better for like talking with chatters, because on YouTube it's actually really frustrating to see the chat. The chat very infrequently updates, and it frequently chooses to leave out messages from what I can see. So the chatting experience is, I believe, subpar. Yeah, that's fine. So because the chatting experience is subpar, like, and I like to communicate with y'all, like, I feel like that's one of the main reasons why I like streaming, is because I like actively talking with y'all, like, while I'm playing, you know what I mean? So I want to try and, you know, kind of remedy that a little bit. That'll be Mire Triton here. Mill a couple more, some lands. Go next. Yeah, but I'm planning on transferring over to Twitch, since at least using us from Streamlabs over to Twitch is like the exact same thing. So the entire like setup of the stream is gonna be the same. It's just gonna be on Twitch, and that'll mean also get like the Twitch emotes and stuff. So I want to be doing that. And that's not to say I won't be streaming on YouTube. I just want to be primarily streaming on Twitch, and then I might do a YouTube stream every once in a while. Do I want to block this? This thing is very annoying. It keeps on making him tokens. What does this do? Frustrating. This is fine. Orthnak, yeah. You get to mill. I took 5 damage. Yeah, fine. That's a very interesting one. Squirming emergence for defense of the heart. No attacks. If we can get to our next turn, I think we do kind of have this game under wraps. I'm gonna see if I can get Twitch. I mean, I believe you're gonna be able to watch the stream on Twitch even if you don't have an account. So it's not necessarily like you don't need to like get a Twitch account. To be completely honest, I think that I guess that does kind of like it is a little counterproductive to what I was saying with the communication and chat. So yeah, it is annoying. I personally also hate having to get like multiple accounts on like all these different like things. It's kind of like frustrating to me as well. But alas, different things provide different services. Alright. I'll lose life, sure. 12 life? Jesus Christ. Three or more creatures. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of boned. I took damage when I shouldn't have with the Orthnak. I didn't think they were playing such high mana value things. That Kiki-Jiki literally carried them so hard. Ugh, that's frustrating. At least I know Kiki-Jiki's a busted ass card and got banned for a reason. So I can't be too frustrated about that. Oh, dinos. Okay. Alright, I can fuck with this. Depending on their opening, we might start ramping faster. But it doesn't look like it unless they... Yeah, go. Ramp or... I get Rona out first. Because Mind Stone's an immediate ramp, so if I draw a land next turn, I can go Cryptolith and then also Mind Stone. Is Pure Rescue Ace good? I mean, it's alright. I mean, Pure Rescue Ace is fine, but that's functionally land. Pure Rescue Ace is fine, but it's also just kind of better if you play it. I want to say it's like better, but it's better if you play like the Snake Eye cards in there, just because you can fetch Hydrant straight out of the deck. Draw, discard. We don't need Emrakul. Invasion of Amonkhet. Get rid of their Huatli, which is nice. Again, Ornithopter. I guess we swing into the invasion. They got a Mana Rock. Cool. Okay, we get more ramp out now. Okay, it's at 2 now. Okay, they get their commander out. And they get Hulking Raptor. Okay, they get 2 extra mana each turn. Not the end of the world. Okay, we get Multirothi. Then we do this. Okay. They get extra mana. They're at 7 now. Before you go, what's your Twitch so I can follow when I get Twitch? I believe it should be linked to my Atali Primal Conqueror. Jesus. Let's try and scrape the top. It was an island. Okay. My Twitch should be linked in my channel description. I believe it should be there. Otherwise, I will be updating it shortly when I actually do make the pit change. Oh my god. I should not have scraped the top. They got a fucking my Great Henge. Oh, that's so frustrating. Oh, do I just lose? I don't get the... Yeah, I think I just straight up lose. They get Vohar, Legion, counter card. Jesus. Oh, man. Polyraptor. That's so tilting that they got my Great Henge. I don't know, maybe I thought a Runic Rescue Ace? That's interesting. Rescue Ace doesn't have to really summon to their EMZ, so I could see that. I don't know why they're doing it that way, but sure. Oh yeah, triple. Okay, well, that was super cool. I mean, my face went Atali. Yeah, that's what Atali does. The Atali difference. I guess I'll play one more since that wasn't even a game. Do I know why? Oh, you don't know why. Okay. I thought of Runic Rescue Ace. I mean, it's interesting. The main issue with that is the Rescue Ace cards like set like a million cards in their back row, so you can pretty much only activate one Runic card at a time. If you, provided you leave one back row slot free. Actually, this is alright. What's our opponent playing? Aku. Maybe. I mean, I guess this hand is 3 mana, plus mill, plus draw, plus spot removal for the commander, so I mean, that's fine, I guess. Oh, the commander also has a ward too, though. Oh, that's a good draw. Oh, that's a really annoying card. But Seiju's also strong. Drawing good cards now. Halfling. Yeah, we go Might. Emery. Halfling. I'm gonna see you if there's a deck list, which I doubt. There's a deck list on Google. You found a deck list for Runic Rescue Ace? Hell yeah. I guess we go Sludge Monster here. I'm gonna save my mana for Muldrotha. Because I want to be able to play something with Muldrotha, or play a land at least, to get some advantage if they choose to out it. There I already played a land, so I wasn't able to play an additional one. This also does check the Aku, because it will require, yeah, that. I don't know if they did that before declaring the attack. It's an instant. Block this with Emery. We block this with this. Okay, and he kills that. That's fine. Yeah. That's a land. No attacks, though. Let me see if I can use the runic cards. Just have now my Rescue Ace deck now. I mean, yeah, that might be good. Now, no, I don't want to play the Muldrotha yet. I feel like I'm opening myself up for mistakes. Yeah. It's fine. Skull Spore Nexus, that's fine. You exile that. Fine. That's really strong. Okay. Play Muldrotha. Play Halfling again. Play Haywire Might again. Is there any cheap Rescue Ace variant you know you can tell me? Here we can swap over from Magic to Yu-Gi-Oh! We can talk Yu-Gi-Oh! Just for a little bit before I log off for the day. I don't mind doing that. Because we also can gamble a little more. So let's also gamble, and then I will answer that question. Because I like answering questions of expensive cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega, because that'll actually tell me like an estimate of the price. So I'm not just like talking out of my ass. Thrasher Tactician. Raccoon Tribal, okay. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. Just 1 second. Now why isn't this showing up? There we go. Okay. So you're saying rescue ace. Okay. From my knowledge, this is what a deck list would look like. Or, I don't know how many preventer you play. You definitely play 3 pieces. Wait. It's alert. I don't know exactly how a rescue is. I know the ratio is 2 turbulence, 2 preventer, 3 hydrant, 2 to 3 impulse, 1 airlifter, fire attacker, and fire engine. Okay. Thank you. Okay, 2 turbulence, 3 hydrant, 2 to 3 impulse, 1 airlifter allowed, fire engine, fire attacker, yeah. Preventer. Oh shit! I got this shit right. Let's go. Did you mention engine? Yeah, you mentioned engine. Okay, cool. Okay. What else? Zelantis. IP. SP. 141. Ash. Blossom. Kita. Imperm. Snake. I mean, the thing is, I can't imagine a Snake Eye, like not a Snake Eye deck. I can't imagine a Rescue Ace deck without the snake, the original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye. If you know what I mean. You don't have Promethean or SP. Oh no, crap. SP is fine to play without. I think like you just replace that with Nightmare Unicorn, and it's the exact same thing for the most part. Well, not really, but you know, it's a good alternative. But Promethean Princess, I think, is pretty strong in this deck because it allows you to do the Zelantis OTK. I would recommend if... Well, I mean, I can imagine I know why you're not picking this up because it's probably going to be reprinted in the near future, so I get that. I get that. You have access code uniform. Okay, cool. Those are good alternatives. So, Rhoda. I imagine you can play Prosp in this deck. Valor. Warner. Called by. Is the Rescue Ace field spell good? People play Prosp in Small Worlds. Yeah, but I feel like at the point where you're playing Small World, I think it'd be better just to play like the Snake Eye cards. Like, it's really expensive. Like I know, but it's like you're right. The whole point of the deck, right, is to get to Hydrant, right? And the Snake Eye cards just give you a card, like so many cards to do so. Like you triple Bonfire, like to search the Poplar, which will special itself out and add the Sinful Spoil straight to your hand. You don't have Mourner? Gotcha. The field spell's a one of? Okay. HQ. I mean, you play non-engine. Oh, if you're playing non-engine. Hand traps being down here. And the ogres and the veilers can be whatever hand trap you want. They're not necessarily need to be ogres and veilers. You only have one ogre, but you can replace it with Ghost Bell. Gotcha. Bell's also good, yeah. Pretty good against Fiendsmith. If you also have like Skullmeister, Skullmeister is also very powerful. Is there level 4s in this deck? There's one level 4. Yikes. So no plan B then. No XCs either. Just links. Okay, well if we're just working with links, you do have Skullmeister. So then Skullmeister is a good like side. I wouldn't recommend main decking Skullmeister, but it's a good side deck card if you know your opponent's on like graveyard stuff like Fiendsmith. It can stop any graveyard effect like Orcus stuff, even though they banish for cost from the graveyard. You still negate because the effect is in the graveyard. Transaction rollback specifically is a meta relevant reason to be playing it. Although Beatrice is banned, so the only deck that's really playing it's like Labyrinth and like Paleo. But it's still a good card because graveyard effects are always happening. I guess Anima is still good. Thinking about what cards you can potentially include in here for the extra, because if you have Skystriker Ace Azalea, that's a card you can include. It's a pretty alright IP target. Oh, can we make Heat Soul? I mean, yeah, we can. Why not? I don't have Anime and Nightmare Phoenix, but I do have Salamangreat Almirage. That's interesting. Almirage is like better the case where you can normal summon a hand trap and get Almirage. And if you normal summon Hydrant, you also get Almirage, but it's worse in the fact where if you special that Hydrant, you can't get the Almirage. Anima's also nice as a piece of removal. Very surprising you have Nightmare Phoenix, though. You do have Heat Soul. Okay, cool. Okay then. Early is a card. Donner Dagger for Hire is also a card. Geonator Transverse is funny if you have it. Because your extra deck slots are pretty free, to be honest, if you're not including the Snake Eye cards or Promethean Princess lines. Celine can potentially find use with Effect Failure. But this is a potential card. Zeraboros is funny. If you want to play Psyframes in your extra, Lambda is something you can make. I mean, Psyframes in your main, you can play Lambda. Oh, Avermax. Yeah, Avermax is a good boss monster since you're playing all links. You can also play Amblo Whale since you're playing all links. Although Amblo Whale is a lot better with Promethean Princess. Oh yeah, White Woman. Almost forgot about her. Oh, wait. The brain rot's kicking in. If you're playing Underworld Goddess, you might as well cut this Donner and run the other one. Actually activate the effect and use it, you know? Boom. 248.91. Not obscenely expensive, you know? You have Zeraboros and Avermax? I don't know if you would want to include Zeraboros in your main deck, to be completely honest, because it does banish all cards on the field, so it will get rid of all your cards too. I just think it's a funny thing that you could potentially do. I do not think it's the correct thing. Alrighty, y'all. Thank you all for stopping by. Again, this is probably going to be my last stream on YouTube, and then I'm gonna after like a week, I'm probably not gonna stream until next month because I'm gonna be preparing for a regional that I have on the 29th. I'm gonna be basically prepping all month for that, so I'm probably not gonna be streaming for that until then. But once I do start streaming, then I will be doing Twitch. Tap them lands. I will, Frank. I will. But I will be streaming on Twitch after the 29th. I don't know if it's going to be exactly after the 29th. It's probably going to be, I want to say, like, I'm not going to put an exact date on it, but probably like a week after I get back from the regional. But thank you all for stopping by, and I'm gonna see y'all later. I'm gonna leave you until the end of this song.